Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, October 10th, 2022. I am a man who cut his arm trying to close a closet door. And today we're going to be working on the Elixir Exercism track. So in our syllabus, we are up to exceptions. So let me open up that concept right here. So all errors in Elixir implement the exception behavior. Just like the access behavior, the exception behavior defines callback functions that a module must implement to fulfill the software contract of the behavior. Once an error is defined, it has the following properties. The module's name defines the error's name. The module defines an error struct. The struct will have a message field. The module can be used with raise or raise2 to raise the intended error. The exception behavior also specifies two callbacks, message and exception. If unimplemented, default implementations will be used. Message 1 transforms the error struct to a readable message when called with raise. Exception allows additional context to be added to the message when it is called with raise. All right, cool. So defining an exception. To define an exception from an error module, we use the def exception macro. So for example, we have this module here called myError, and we will call def exception, and we'll pass it a message with a simple string of error. And in this case, my customized error, we similarly use a def exception to declare a message, but now we implement a custom implementation of the exception function, which when accepted, which when called, the incoming value will be cased. And if the case matches an empty list, then we return customize error struct as is. Otherwise, we return message, alert, and value. A weird implementation, but so be it. Using exceptions. Defined errors might be used like a built-in error, either using raise or raise2. Raise1 raises a specific error by its module name or the argument, or if let me try that again. Raise raises a specific error by its module name, or if the argument is a string, will raise a runtime error with the string as the message. Raise2 raises a specific error by its module name and accepts an attributes argument, which is used to obtain the error with the appropriate message. Okay, cool. And so to play around with exceptions, we're going to be working on the stack underflow example. Well, continuing your work at Instruments of Texas, there's progress being made on the Elixir implementation of the RPM calculator. Your team would like to be able to raise errors that are more specific than the generic errors provided by the standard library. You're doing some research, but you have decided to implement two new errors which will implement the exception behavior. All right, so with that done, let's download the example, and we'll open it up in VS Code. So we've got our lib file, which we're not doing anything yet. We've got our test file, which has got a bunch of stuff, and then we've got our README, and yeah, and we'll hide our source list. Okay, so task 1, error for division by 0, dividing. Please input here and here. Okay. Does this give us more than one module? No. Is the expectation that we would do more than one module? All right, let's read the task first. Dividing a number by 0 produces an undefined result, which the team decides is best represented by an error. Implement the division by 0 error module to have the error message division by 0 occurred. So when you call raise division by 0 error, you get that. I'll cut out the spam call. Okay, so Okay, so looking at this module name, they expect us to define the module here. Or define the exception. All right, we'll try that. See, that doesn't like, because if this happens, then that is the name of the exception. Let me see. Define module. I mean, it kind of feels like they want us to do that, but that feels weird to me. Normally, you don't define modules inside of other modules. Let's run the test. Sure. All right, so these are all failing. Let's run this. Run test at cursor. Expected RPN exception .stack overflow but got undefined exception. Okay. So did that work? Expected exception RPN calculator exception .stack underflow error. Oh. That's task 3. I don't want no. I don't want to do task 3. Where's task 1? Are these all 3? Okay, these are task 1. I gotta figure out how to pass in a tag when you run tests. That would make this a little easier. Okay, so this is passing. Divide by 0. Okay. That's passing. The one that's probably not passing. Let me just run all these. Tests. It's weird that the Explorer doesn't it's weird that view. It's weird that the tests don't show the little, like, I see a red X here for the test, but I don't see one next to here. That could be because they're implementing a thing called flunk here. What is flunk? Flunk. I don't remember. Executing instructions flunk. Fail with message. I've never used that before. Config. Yeah, these tests are a little weird. Okay. Let's not worry about this for now. This is gonna fail because the message is not right. Yeah, it's looking. It's unfortunate, like because of the way they're testing these. I'm just gonna run next test just to run. Did any of them pass? 7 tests, 7 failures. Division by 0 occurred. Oh, that's because I didn't name it right. We are having fun. Next test. That's what I want. 7 test failures. Condition to config. The modules used in the test suite don't exist or don't implement the desired struct. A compile error occurs, so the test suite is never run. So using a conditionally creates test cases based on downloaded. Allows for meaningful error message. Okay. Uh. Um. I wonder. Well, if I run next test, what am I here? Divide private. Uh. Doesn't contain. I haven't done any of that yet. Weird. I mean, my general feeling is that I'm not supposed to define a module inside another def module. Like it's not unheard of to do define modules like as separate you know, to like define multiple modules in a single file. See, some of the stuff passes now. Yeah, I don't think I don't know why it says implemented here inside of that. I want to keep that outside for now. Because like this is passing. Alright, let's try number 2. RPM calculators use a stack to keep track of numbers before they are added. The team represents this stack with a list of numbers and floating point 0. Each operation needs a specific number of numbers on the stack in order to perform its calculation. When there are not enough numbers on the stack, this is called a stack underflow error. Implement the stack underflow error exception, which provides a default message and optional extra context. Okay, so let us do that. So we'll implement that with a custom message. I think it would just be that. Then context when dividing. So for the context stuff, we're going to need the special impl for exception. So I'm surprised you're allowed to call. Surprised you're allowed to use that name inside of here. Like my expectation was not that that's automatically aliased. But I don't know. Undefined, yeah. That's because it needs a message, right? When there are not enough numbers in the stack, this is called a stack underflow error. Implement stack underflow error exception, which provides a default message and optional extra context. For example, when you call raise stack underflow error, it'll call this, and that'll be the message. But if you call when dividing, then that's the message. And it's got a thing called context when dividing. So it's frustrating a little bit because in the concept documentation they don't really talk about like what this format is. Try. All right. Well, this thing doesn't. Value. The full structure. I don't know. I wonder if the word context is just part of the message. So like, message is stack underflow occurred context and then whatever the value is. Yeah. So this wrong message for underflow. It expects this, but it's context when it's empty. That's why they do the conditional there. Because does value come in as a char list? Because that's why they would match on list. No, right? No. I think that's what it's doing. And that's not gonna work, right? That. Yeah, I mean, you could just do it like this. That's really lame. I might clean that up later, but I'm just gonna do it for now. All right, I think that works because stack underflow appears to be passing. Okay, task number 3: implement the divide function, which takes a stack. Implement the divide function. Where? Implement the divide function, which takes a stack list of numbers and raises stack underflow when the stack does not contain enough numbers. Raises division by 0. Is there an extra lib? No. Oh, they're expecting us to implement divide in the exception one. Define divide. Alright, it's gonna accept a stack. Raises stack underflow when the stack does not contain enough numbers. Raises division by 0 when the divisor is 0. Note the stack numbers is stored in reverse. Forms the division when none are raised. For example, when you call divide with an empty list, you get stack underflow. When you call divide with 0 and 100, you get division by 0 error. When you call divide 4 by 16, 4. So one way to do this is we need a minimum of 2 for in terms of length of a list. So stack when when is list stack, and when the length is less than 2, raise. I'll list them here. Yes. I wonder if you do define module. I'm just gonna alias them. I wonder if this is unhappy implementing the modules down there, and yeah, we're not using. That's fine. Okay. So if we don't have enough, we'll do that. If the head of the list, if the head of the stack equals 0, then we would raise the division by 0, right? And then divide back is list. I'm still gonna keep the is list because I think it's good to do as many guards as reasonable. Like if you can use a guard to say explicitly that like this is going to, expect a specific argument type, I think that's beneficial because like you could get through that. Like if we were doing type specs and using the dialyzer, dialyzer will check that some stuff I compile, but this is more of a runtime verification. Okay. And then we just get the first 2 elements. Can we assume there's not more than 2 elements? I don't know. And stack divided by B. Or no, B divided by A. Let's run the test. Mix, test. Alright, I got some stuff failing here. When stack doesn't contain any numbers, raise stack underflow error, wrong message. It expected when dividing. Okay. I guess we could add that context there. When dividing. Okay, that looks good. Was there 4? Task 4? No. Okay, so that should be it. Alright, so with that done, let's try to clean this up a little. I want to see if actually let me I don't have a shortcut for opening up the testing explorer. Alright, they're all green. But let's try something. So let's move this module inside, and let's get rid of these. And let's see. Okay, I think that's what they wanted. I've never done that. I've never defined modules inside another def module and expected the the module like namespace to work like that. So that's good. So now that that's done, we can get rid of the error or the alias. I'm sorry. Then we can also get rid of probabilities, right? We gotta save our stuff. Okay. Stack Overflow, Stack Underflow. Looks good. When dividing, I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, you could do a thing where, I mean, you could do this capture in the arguments. I mean, the only problem with this implementation is that we're making the assumption that stack is a 2-element list, and we're not really like we're not returning the stack with it, which is something you'd probably do. But I think that's fine. All right. So one more time, we'll run mix test, and then we'll do exercism submit lib RPN calculator exception. We would upload. And we'll take a look, see if the robots have anything to say. The robots are happy. Community solution. Take a peek at some of these. Yeah, it's pretty close to what we have. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure on like this value matching empty list. I think it's just the default for like, there's always arguments to an exception. You're just checking if the arguments are empty. Otherwise, we assume the arguments can be presented inside of a string. Tailhead. Yeah. Oh, and they are using the div function rather than slash. That's fine. Yeah, they just do that. Okay, cool. Well, I'm happy with that. So with that done, we will mark our stuff as complete. We will publish our iterations. We have learned exceptions. We have unlocked 6 exercises. And we have completed the exception concepts. Cool. So next time, it looks like we're going to be working on streams. Until then, I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. If you have any questions or feedback, let me know. Other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.